based on President Trump's absolute confidence. There is one person who has emerged as a key figure in the diplomatic arena. It is Steve Whitkopf, the special envoy for the Middle East. He has no diplomatic experience, expanding its activities to the Middle East, Ukraine, and Iran in all directions. It is emerging as a shadow situation in U.S. diplomacy.
CNN recently reported that Witkoff has emerged as a figure who can control the diplomatic issues of the Trump administration in just 3 months. A former real estate lawyer, he has been a close associate of President Trump for nearly 40 years. Although he has no diplomatic experience, this trust of the president was the decisive factor in making him a special envoy. President Trump highly regarded Witkoff's dealing skills and appointed him as the special envoy for the Middle East. And Witkoff jumped into the center of the diplomatic stage. He communicates with President Trump almost every day and regularly exchanges briefings with the national security team, CIA, and other intelligence agencies, effectively acting as a diplomatic window representing the president. A diplomat in Washington emphasized Witkoff's influence, saying, "Communication with him is communication with Trump." His activities have been clearly evident in actual diplomatic settings. Just before his inauguration, he made a surprise visit to Israel and persuaded Prime Minister Netanyahu to reach a ceasefire agreement between Hamas and Israel. And last month, he personally brought back American citizen Mark Fogel, who had been detained in Russia. He also discussed ending the war in Ukraine in a 3-hour meeting with President Putin. However, not all diplomatic attempts were successful. The ceasefire in the Gaza Strip was broken again by Israel's re-attack. And the Ukraine ceasefire negotiations are at a standstill due to Russia's refusal. He also damaged diplomatic trust by changing his words in the Iran nuclear negotiations. He said, "Iran will allow uranium enrichment to a certain level," but then changed his position the next day, saying, "Iran must completely suspend its nuclear program." Iran expressed its displeasure, saying, "The U.S. position is contradictory." Foreign affairs experts at home and abroad point out that Witkoff's activities are notable, but his limitations due to his lack of experience are also clear. There are concerns that Witkoff may be inferior in negotiations, especially against seasoned diplomatic strategists like Russia and Iran. An American diplomat expressed skepticism about his independent actions, saying, "It is abnormal for him to conduct shuttle diplomacy alone without experts." Nevertheless, President Trump and the White House often say, "Steve can handle it," maintaining their trust in him. Some cautiously raise the possibility that he may even take charge of trade negotiations with China in the future.
Steve Whitkopf, who rose from Trump's close friend to the core of American diplomacy. His ability is still being tested, but his influence is already at a level that cannot be ignored on the diplomatic stage. The whole world is paying attention to what kind of results he will produce in American diplomacy in the future.